Oh my god, this is. Uh, oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna have the introduction by my cat, apparently. Yeah, sorry.
So cute though.
I I thought I turned off pre-rolls. Is Twitch being Twitch again?
Oh, you can't fully turn off pre-rolls.
Oh my. Oh, that's going into the Book of Grudges.
Uh, like pre-rolls are kind of just always there.
No, but like I thought you had the option of, oh, if I put on the minute and a half of ads every hour, you can turn off pre-rolls, which I did, and then it still gives people pre-rolls.
If you run ads, you shouldn't get pre-rolls. Yeah, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, see what I mean?
Uh,
Like, just okay, from the people actually doing the engineering, I feel bad for them because the I've worked with the Amazon infrastructure outside of Twitch for work, and you cannot touch something without breaking 10 other things.
true.
Thanks, Peaches. Um, we were just having a joke on another Discord that I had to that the mustachioed people, the bearded people, must band together against the non-beards because we all play as Chaos Dwarfs in Warhammer. And fun fact: this is not a beard. This is 3 foxtails.
I mean, why not go for the full 9?
Because I didn't have time for it. That's why.
Didn't have time to collect all the Jinchurikis from Naruto.
Mm-hmm. Man, I haven't thought about Naruto in like 20 years.
I think about Naruto at least once a day.
I think about One Piece more than Naruto, honestly.
I've never watched One Piece.
It's fine. But like, at least One Piece is more honest about its magic system.
See, that's the thing. I don't care about the magic system making sense. I just want like cool things and at
Oh,
least the story to
no,
make
like,
sense
okay,
ish.
okay, but like, okay, so from what I understand about, like, what's his name? The guy who did Discworld.
Walt
What?
Disney?
No, Discworld. The book series.
Oh. Oh, I have no idea.
Um, what he mentions about his magic system is not a magic system is not great by what you can do with it, but rather what the restrictions are in the magic system. So,
I mean, true though.
so like, so like when, yeah, Terry Pratchett. Thank you, Penguin. Um, so like, if your magic system can do everything and anything without any repercussion, that's not very interesting. But if your magic
That is
system,
true.
but if your magic system's like, oh, you have to, in order to get your magic, you have to like stroke a frog, and the frog only comes out of the pond every full moon. That makes it more interesting because how do you get to the pond? How do you keep the
Also, hi,
frog?
Penguin. That is true. That is very fair.
So like,
I
so
love that
like,
this is how we start, by the way, talking about fucking Naruto and magic systems.
oh, oh, like this is like the first bit of the thing. I find it best if I just get people to just talk about whatever.
True, though.
Because
It's the
like
best way to
if
make people feel comfortable.
like I feel more comfortable and also just getting warmed up because I've had the cold cuts to the actual start of the podcast, and those are probably the least what's the best way to put it? They're not bad.
Vibey ones.
They're the least vibey ones, and like we went off rails more often.
That is also true. That's very fair.
Okay.
Don't worry, give me like an hour and I will yap for like on 70 topics and they're all somehow going to be linked back to waist training.
All right. Okay, so I think like we've got a I'm ready to go. Are you?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So welcome to episode 10 of the Binary Connections podcast. We have 2 very special things happening today. We have the lovely guest, I believe you pronounce it psychotic?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, got it.
Also,
And
hi.
Hello. And we have the debut of the 3D model because I finally realized I cannot draw to save my life.
Let's go 3D!
But I've 3D modeled for an extended amount of my life, so I'm just more familiar with that system.
3D!
Yeah. Plus, I can do this.
I love 3D.
Yeah.
I can't believe you fucking died.
I'm still alive. I'm just gonna, T-pose on you because I haven't set up the face tracking and stuff yet. All right. Um, I should actually do the actual intro. Right. We live in a world full of interesting people, all connected through amazing technology, without which we wouldn't meet half the amazing people we all know. Have you ever wondered, what does that person do in their free time? I wonder if they have any hobbies I don't know about, and wondered how people keep themselves both connected, engaged at the same time. This is the podcast for you. Join the oldest man, Old Man Rod, as he talks to people in very public spaces, Twitch streamers, cosplayers, game designers, and so much more to learn about who they are and they keep themselves connected in such public-facing roles. So, can we get a quick introduction of yourself to the people who don't know who you are?
Hi, my name is Psychotic. I make VTuber and translated content on Twitch and everywhere else. I basically just yap a lot about whatever is on my mind. Usually it's random VTuber drama or something that is happening within the community or like new technology, like new face tracking. Like
Hmm.
recently there was a person who released finally like one of the very few like fully customizable 3D models,
Hmm.
things like that. And also I do NSFW work.
Ah, yes. We'll be touching that up a bit later on. So, obviously, first question first. What was it? What was the turning point in your life where you decided to start going to streaming and VTubing in general?
So I originally started streaming because I was really bad at finishing video games. And one summer when I was traveling with my family, I just made a list of games that I'd never finished before. Um, so like I would, as an example, like start Skyrim like over and over again because it would like I would play it for like 2 weeks and then drop it and then come back to it later
Hmm.
and then like forget what I was doing and start again and do it over and over again. And I felt really bad that I kept like buying games but not like fully finishing them. So originally my stream was supposed to be all about like finishing video games. It was supposed to be a very video game focused thing,
Hmm.
like 100%ing like massive games like Elden Ring or like Breath of the Wild or things like that. Um, and then when I started streaming, obviously, like you don't really have people talking in your chat and things like that.
Hmm.
So I got really bored. Uh, so I started meeting people on Discord and Skype. Remember Skype?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and on Skype and TeamSpeak and stuff, and I would just bring them on, and I just realized that, like, the game didn't really matter much, it was
Hmm.
just, like, us talking and hanging out
Hmm.
that was, like, funnier and more interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with that because my first introduction to that streaming and YouTube videos as a whole was
yeah,
the Game Grumps when they did
yeah,
the
exactly.
Wheel of Fortune, and I was like, oh, that makes sense now. It's not about watching someone play games; it's more about like hanging out with a friend playing a video game.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like you,
so I started
mm,
making videos around that,
oh, that's nice.
um, and and then later um, I was finding myself to be kind of like stuck doing kind of like the same thing over and over again, where it was very much like every time I was hanging out with my friends or whatever, it was like, okay, what can we do to be funnier, or like what is the craziest thing we can say and whatever, because this was like old YouTube, so it was basically like
Yep.
who can be the edgiest.
Mm. I
um
I think I had a guest two things 2 episodes ago who mentioned that he pissed on stream just to get views.
yeah,
Like I hope you didn't I hope you didn't resort to those levels.
I never did, but I did have somebody shit themselves.
On purpose or accidentally? Because that difference matters.
That is a good question. To this day, I don't know.
Okay, let's leave that as a mystery for now. That's one I'm happy to leave. That's one I'm happy to leave unresolved for the rest of my life. Um.
Um,
Okay. So
but I
yeah.
I was very stuck, and I was just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And the landscape on YouTube was changing. Like
Mm,
Pink Eye, like Filthy Frank, like left, and a lot of things just changed really fast. And I was just randomly in a friend's Discord, and he had told me about VTubing like before. And when I looked into it, there was a lot of very soft people, very like cute anime girls,
mm,
whatever. And that wasn't for me at all. It wasn't like how I felt. That's not how I am as a person.
mm.
And I just kind of blew it off and was like, "Ugh, well, it's not for me." Like I just thought it's just this really tiny community I'll never be part of. Um,
um.
yeah, I know.
Okay. So this question will bring it into context. I promise. What year was this?
20 2017, 18-ish, something like
Oh,
that.
the infamous gatekeeping stage of VTubing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
It was like something like that. It was super early
like
Western VTubing time, like
like
ridiculously
every
early.
like you were basically trying to copy the whole life model of being an idol anime girl, and there
No,
was.
so I
Mm,
wanted to do the opposite. So at the time, I was still male presenting. I didn't know I was trans or anything like that.
oh.
And I was like, okay, well, there isn't really any male VTubers. What if we do that, Lamau?
Oh, fair enough.
And and I met a bunch of other VTubers who like kind of introduced me to everything, and that's kind of just where it started. And at first, I kind of like kept just being like a faceless streamer, and then one of my friends back in the day just went, "Just put a PNG in the corner, and you're basically a VTuber anyway." I'm
Mm,
like, "Okay," and so I did.
huh?
But this was before VTubers had a tag on Twitch. So the
Mm.
only way to find other VTubers was to put like VTuber in the title in like massive brackets.
Oh, yep.
And when you did that, like because there was so little, competition and so little like other people doing it and some
Mm,
little English speaking VTubers, that like as soon as you did it, you would average like 1,000 people easily.
mm.
Like it was crazy.
Because
Um,
the novelty was high and the market wasn't
exactly.
saturated.
And so, because I was male presenting, I had like a really deep, gritty voice, and I played a lot of like Overwatch and COD and kind of
Mm,
like whatever, a lot of horror games and things like that, which again wasn't like super common back then. It was like Stardew Valley and like Barbie dress up, like which was actually like a huge thing. Like there was a lot of very cute
mm.
stuff, and then people were like missing something more interesting and
Okay.
something more like sexual and like edgy and darker and whatever.
Okay.
And I met a bunch of people who were like working on that. They
Mm,
wanted to be like demons and NSFW workers and see how they could use VTubing and like VR chat and stuff like that
mm,
to do NSFW content in a safer way, things like that. And I literally like I have seen VTubing change and go through all the stages, and I've literally been here seeing like Twitch go from, "We don't want that VTuber
mm.
tag shit," to like, "Oh, VTubers, we love them, trust me."
My God.
Um,
So yeah, Peaches brings
but
up a
yeah.
good point. Because I remember like the early days of BTubing where it's like it wasn't as accepted to use like voice modulation and that kind of stuff. So the
Yeah.
meme of the all VTubers are men, like 40-year-old men
Yep.
using
All
voice
VTubers
changers.
are
Women aren't real.
I remember that. It
Um
was so funny because I started meeting people
mhm.
who did use voice changers, and
Mm.
they always did way better than anyone else.
Oh wow. Like way better as in
in terms of like numbers and people finding them and stuff. I
Huh?
think just because people
Mm.
again were just looking for something a bit more different than
Mm.
what was out there.
It's like the thing I keep with a different amount of VTubers I keep talking to. The one common thing I find is that escapism is a big factor for has and always will be a big factor. So the people who
Yeah.
can fit that mold better will have more success. But
Yeah.
so when you were talking about edgy characters, you weren't talking about like the Mountain Dew basement dwelling
No,
Call
no.
of Duty playing. You were talking about like the more mature aspect, like um
Yeah.
okay, so hmm, uh, I'll let you just say I'll let you try to explain a bit better because I'm still trying to grasp that concept.
So when VTubing was really young, most people were like cat girls, cat boys, like dog and girls and boys and non-binary babes,
Hmm.
all that. And there wasn't much variety like at all. Partially because it was limitation of the stuff we were using, which was Vroid,
Mm-hmm.
which was really one, it only came in Japanese and I think Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to figure out what did what. And two, it was very limited at the time with what you could do within the software. It was very, very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so at the time, it was very easily to make something really cute, which is kind of like what VRoid was made for. It was to make something quick and cute.
Oh,
Uh,
yep.
and
99% of the preset stuff is made for female characters.
yeah, exactly. And so people just started messing around with it and wanting to make something a bit more edgy. Like
Mm.
my really early like lore, quote unquote, that people would give me
Mm.
was like I was like a serial murderer that got away. I met I met one VTuber who they managed to like somehow kind of like make a gas mask on themselves, which looked like awful at the time, but
Mm.
it kind of worked.
Oh, nice.
Uh, who was like they escaped like Chernobyl or something like that. That was their lore.
Oh, that's cool.
Things like that, and people just wanted something a bit more interesting, a bit more edgy. That wasn't like the pink cat girl number 47.
Hey, there's a
So that's
reason
what
why
I meant with like,
there's a
you
reason
know,
why there's 47 pink cat girls. It works.
yeah, exactly. I didn't want to say 6, 7 because fuck that meme. Uh,
Oh dear. Okay. So
6, 7.
oh dear. Okay, so you were still um male presenting and you haven't found
Yeah,
your identity yet. So would you say that VTubing was your gateway into the trans
yeah,
community?
100%.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I didn't know much about trans people at all. Like in my life, I'd never heard of a trans person until I got into like VTubing. It just wasn't and isn't really much talked about here at all. And so when I started VTubing, I met a lot of non-binary people and a lot of trans people, obviously.
Hmm.
And it was very much like a, huh, okay. And that was kind of it. Like it didn't
Hmm.
really flow in my head that like this was something I want to do or this is something I want to try or be part of, or it was just like a that sounds difficult. I hate that you're going through this. Trust me, I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Oh dear.
Uh, and
Uh,
at the time, I was just so focused on like getting my life together, basically,
hmm.
like finding stable income and figuring out like what I wanted to do with my life, like if I wanted to keep pursuing something online or if I wanted to just kind of disappear and be just like in the world or
Hmm.
whatever I wanted to do.
That's, I'm assuming you
Um,
were at that stage of your life where you're just still figuring out how to be an adult.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And I was like between jobs and I was between like living because I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to live with my parents, even though like they're very amazing and they were very kind and was like, we you can just live here. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, eh.
Mm.
Um, and so I moved around a lot. I lived like in the caravans and like cabins and just random spots, which is like how I kind of grew up anyway.
Mm.
Um, and later I got stable income. I started working, and then I met someone, and she lived in the UK, and it was like COVID era, COVID arc. So she like came over here, lived with me for a year, and then I went to the UK and lived with her for like a year and a half because of lockdowns.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah, right. The Renaissance age of VTubing.
exactly. And in all this, I kept streaming and doing random things, playing a lot of horror games. Obviously,
Mm.
VTubing just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better and more
Mm.
interesting things. I still remember when like I saw AI Candy reveal like AR tracking on the face for the first time, and that was
Oh,
like the most mind blowing thing ever. It was like, oh my god, you
yeah.
can do this.
Uh, um, I think the biggest surprise that you can do this on a commercial level. Because when
Yeah,
I studied, when I was back in uni, it was like oof, half a lifetime ago. You needed like a $10,000 setup to do what you can do nowadays on your computer.
true.
And nowadays, you just use a freaking phone with a non-intended purpose of scanning your face for face tracking.
Yep. Just like stare into your fucking phone every day.
Yeah, well,
Um,
might as well use it for VTubing, right?
exactly. Like if you're gonna fucking scroll TikTok, you might as well VTubing as well.
Yeah, that's the classic pipeline. TikTok, VTubing, becomes something you weren't born with, right?
True. Actually, true.
uh, dear.
Um,
But yes. So
but
sorry,
yeah,
back to your the
I
2020 period.
kept VTubing and making content and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go back to Norway,
Mm-hmm.
and I um kind of just was like I was flipping between like, do I want to move to the UK or do I want to see if she want to come here? Because I there was like I meme a lot about it a lot, but like there were parts of the UK that was amazing, like genuinely really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people there were honestly like some of the best people I've ever met in my life. Super nice, super calm, and most of the people were fine and honestly like really cool to be around. But there's other parts of the UK, things that you never would think about when you are moving countries that you don't think would be like a big deal until you experience it for the first
Mm.
time. Specifically for me, it was like the roads in the UK are like extraordinarily garbage.
Mm.
Like they are super tiny, super small, and I drive literally every single day. And if I can't feel safe on the road I am driving every day, I feel stuck and locked in.
Mm.
And had I had like a moment where I was like, I just kind of was like, can I even do this? Can I like live in this situation technically forever?
Mm.
And I just came to the conclusion of I don't think I could. Um, and so I moved back home for a while, just like kind of think and figure it out and compare and whatever. And while I was streaming, like, here at home, I I just had somebody say to me randomly in the chat saying, like, "Go piss, girl," because I had to go to the bathroom,
Go Peace Girl Go classic.
and I while I went to the bathroom, I was like, internally, I was like, "That shouldn't have felt that good, like, that shouldn't have been a thing."
The pissing or being
Um,
called Go Piss Girl.
the just being called girl, um,
Ah, okay, that makes more
and
sense.
and, like, and leading up to that, I've had a lot of people tell me like I have like big sister energy, whatever that means.
I you definitely, to me, I haven't known you for very long, but you definitely have old soul vibes.
Yeah.
Whereas I get told I have retired grandpa vibes. I'm like, perfect. That's the vibe I'm going for. Um,
um, but it was very like a lightning in the bottle kind of moment,
mm,
and it very much like, you know, like as the meme says, crack my egg.
okay.
And
Mm,
um, you know, I
okay.
started looking more into it,
Mm,
and um, not necessarily because of transitioning. There was like a couple other things linked into it, but mainly because I wanted to transition. That relationship fell apart,
mm.
and I was like, "That's fine.
Um,
That's completely fine."
um, okay. So it
Um,
wasn't like I need to listen to like Linkin
oh no,
Park
no,
for
no!
20
I was
hours
like
straight.
destroyed for like half a year.
Oh. Oh, so you were
But it
fine,
was
air quotes.
It was
Gotcha.
it was fine in the sense of I knew long term this will be better, like, for myself and for
Mm.
her and for my own happiness and for what I want out of life. So it was
Okay.
very much like one of those, I know this is going to suck, I know this is gonna fucking hurt like a bitch, but
Mm,
at the same time, like, I know what I want, and I also have always been a very good person on kind of realizing internally, like, what I need.
mm,
And gender and sex and sexuality and things like that has never been like a big deal to change for me, if that makes sense. I've never viewed myself as like a locked in a box per se. Um, like people would ask me like growing up, like, "Oh, what if you found that you're gay?" I'm like, "Okay." And
uh,
like
oh, interesting.
it things like that never bothered me because I'm like, you can't change how you feel anyway, so why even fucking bother caring about it?
Oh,
Um,
mm, that's a good
so
point.
that's why I also just don't like, I always label myself, like, as gay or lesbian because I fucking love women, but,
Mhm.
like, on a more, like, serious note, I don't really have a term for my own sexuality. I don't really care or think too much about it. I look at a person, I go, "I like you," or "I think you're hot or pretty," or whatever. That's it. I don't really care about, like, your
So,
gender.
so I guess the closest thing to if I were to slap a label on you would be pansexual,
Probably.
because like it's not just
Like,
because I'm still debating this with wifey because they changed the labels from asexual and demisexual.
yeah,
Because like in order for me to feel any sexual attraction, I actually have to build a personal connection. So it's not for me. It's not about I find you hot. It's more we build a connection, and I find that more attractive.
exactly.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Okay.
I started looking more into transitioning and all that. And um, at the start of my transition, I would go to my friends and I would just go, "Hey, could you just like use female pronouns for me?" And they'd be like, "Oh, you're trans," and I'm like, "No." uh, I would literally go, "Oh, it's just
What?
words. I just want to like see how it feels."
I. Oh, okay. It sounds bad, but I'm guessing it just comes from a place of I haven't fully committed to it yet.
It came from a place that 100%, and also that I genuinely do think that, like, even if you're not necessarily trans or genderqueer in any way, shape, or form, you can interchange pronouns however you feel like. If you just
Hmm.
one day feel that, like, this label, this word, right? Because at the end of the day, pronouns are just words. It doesn't really have, like, that big of a weight. It's just
Hmm.
words. And if something makes you feel good and it's just a couple of words, why not try to make someone feel good by doing that? Like,
Hmm.
that's why I have, some people sometimes are like, "Oh, why do you have like the good girl, good boy redeems and things like that?" And I'm like, it takes me 2 seconds to say this, and if it makes someone feel good or better about their day, why not do it? It's just
Yeah.
some words. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. That's fair. Like For me,
or at least to me, obviously.
I agree with you that as well. I'm more because of being bilingual and that kind of stuff. Take stock more
Yeah,
of how people say stuff rather than what they say.
exactly. Same.
But like, obviously, some
And
words just shouldn't be said. Full stop.
yeah, of course. But to me, it's that's how I viewed it. I
Mm,
view it very much like, yes, pronouns and words obviously hold weight and is important to people. But at the same time, don't put so much weight into words that it can like, you know,
mm,
like damage you or whatever. I'm very much a actions and people's actions are more important than like, words.
mm. Yeah, because like it.
And here in Norway, we don't really use gender language anyway. So like it's not something I think too much about at all.
Mm.
Which is hilarious because I
Oh,
am trans.
it's also interesting with like the Latin, like the romantic languages, because we have male and male, female and male pronoun
Yeah.
like adjectives for everything, but it's just based on how the word ends.
Yeah.
So it's like the chair's a female and the table's a male, but not because of
Yep.
construct, just because of how the
How
language
the
is
word
built.
ends.
Yeah, it's like and
Yep.
then but
We
like
do that
when
here too sometimes.
hmm, but then like when it comes to actual the trans community, do we just like the whole the American Mexican community was like, oh, we should call them Latinx. I'm like, I think you're over engineering the solution.
Yeah.
Because like,
Like,
if the person just wants to be called gender neutral terms, go for it. If they don't care, just go with what the language goes. I think it's more rather than try to find the one size fits all solution. It's about being accommodating to each person, right?
exactly.
Uh,
And
mm,
when I started transitioning, and my transition has been a very public one. Like I talk very openly about it, both my struggles and my wins and everything between them.
yeah, you're
When
very
it came to
public.
pronouns, I never cared because
Mm,
here in Norway, you don't really get labeled. Like if you pull up to the drive-through, nobody's going to be like, "Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am." They just go, "Welcome to insert establishment here.
how can you
What can
con-
I help you with,
how
or
can you
can I take your
convince
order?"
how can you convince me the less way possible? Perfect. Okay. Oh, interesting. So
Like,
I never thought about that cultural change.
yeah, that and most or a lot of women here in Norway have deeper voices anyway. And the way our language is structured is like, sure, you can definitely like quote unquote tell sometimes like, okay, they're trying to speak a bit more masculine or trying to
Mm.
speak a bit more feminine or whatever. But we call just that the customer service voice, which just
Yep,
over
yep.
exaggerates your natural features within your like vocal range,
Mm,
right?
yep.
But if you change that vocal range, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, that's fair. Babe, I'm going to Norway. You can go to Scotland. I love deep voice women.
um, and so a lot of people do apparently.
Mm,
So like
yep.
here it's like when I call, like a hospital or whatever, or like any place, they just go, "Hello, what can I help you with?" And then
Mm,
I told this story on stream a couple of times, but like when I was trying to still get my hands on HRT, I was just calling hospitals and trying to figure out like where I had to go and whatever. And uh and this like really nice, very awesome lady go because I go like, "Hey, uh, I'm just like looking into getting HRT." And she goes, "Do you need like a gynecologist?" And I'm like, this is the funniest thing ever. I can't wait to tell everyone. And I had to explain to her that I was trans, and she's like, "What?"
mm. Okay. So we're just gonna go for a quick ad break. So let's
Ad
just
break.
let's just hold that thought for a second. Um, yeah, yeah. This is
is when you like start default dancing, just like
Yeah. Right. Hang on. Let's see what default dancing I can pull up. Da-da-da-da. I've only used this program for 2 hours. Although I had to relearn freaking. What's that program everyone uses? Blender?
Blender, yeah.
Because I learned 3D programming, 3D not programming, 3D animation in the early 2000s. So I learned Maya, which is defunct.
Oh my god, Maya.
Yep, industry standard at the time. I hate it, and I will hate it till the end of time. There it is.
Fucking god, Maya. And
Uh,
Cinema 40.
uh, okay, I will defend Maya on one thing. Its interface is a lot more user friendly than Blender. That's the only thing I'll defend it on.
That is fair. That is very fair.
Because Blender is it's a toolbox, but it's not a very pretty toolbox. There we go.
Yeah.
But but Blender does have more power to it than Maya did. Even though Maya was used in video games and the movie industry, but nowadays everyone uses Blender.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I'm glad I'm glad the bases still work because I was able to pull something out of my ass in 2 hours. Because my head is literally just a top hat.
Are you like, what is.
Uh,
Are you like breakdancing right now?
yep. This is like a default dance from Boruto. It's come a long way. Hmm. Or just Fortnite dancing.
What the fuck? This is so sick.
Yeah, like it comes built into the program too.
You know what? Maybe I need to like just put a Warudo one day and just like set it up.
Yeah, like it's pretty easy to like get it set up, honestly.
Just do a stream that is like, oh, actually, no, I probably shouldn't do that. My chat already is fucking gooning all the time.
Um my chat goons and half of it's my wife, so
Let's go!
yep. Yep. Thank you. I gotta teach them all the young whippersnappers how to dance. um, my favorite is the
You know.
the only
Look at him go!
look at him go. I'm gonna save this one for the if I ever do the Uma Musume stream.
Let's go! The fucking mustache.
Oh, I need to. Before we go back, I need to quickly show you the version 2.0. Yeah. Yeah. Where did I go? Yep. I fucked everything up. So. Yep. Yep. Nope. I killed something. There we go. So.
See, this way you don't change things in the middle of the scene.
I break everything. So my mustache was programmed to my ass. So it went back and forth. Yep. 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 All right. So while I'm quickly on breaking the setup. All right. So we've come back from the ad break. So we were talking about how you just starting your HRT journey.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about how someone thought you wanted to see a gynecologist. Okay. So.
Yeah.
Which I find both funny and interesting because probably at that stage I only just learned what HRT is and what bottom surgery is.
It was really fun because it confirmed to me that 90% of people, 99% of people here don't really care about your gender, they don't care about your gender identity. Like most people here are like, "Oh, you're trans?" Anyway, they don't really care much. They might have, like, questions and things like that, obviously, but,
Mm,
like, it isn't that big of a deal here. Nobody care enough to make a deal out of it.
okay.
Um, and so, when I see a lot of the issues and stuff like that for other trans people, I feel really shitty and really bad because partially I can't relate to it. I've
Mm,
never been in the US. I've never been, like, clocked or whatever.
mm,
It's just never happened to me because I live in the country I live in, and
mm,
it's just not a thing here. Yes, I've had people, like, ask uncomfortable questions
mm.
or unprompted kinda just try to assume something, but, like, it's not something that has happened in a way where I didn't feel like, I was unsafe or I couldn't get away easily or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, so yeah.
Okay, so it's good that you lived in a place where you felt comfortable and other people around you felt comfortable with
Yeah,
your
most
existence,
people just
basically.
don't care here.
Yeah, like I I I can appreciate that level of I don't care who you are, you don't care who I are, let's just not care about each other.
Yeah, exactly. The general rule in Norway is very much like, "Don't fucking bother me, I won't bother you," and move on
Hmm.
with your life. Like, who cares about, Joe on the street?
Yeah, it's definitely like with Australia, the obviously I'm not going to speak on behalf of them, but the biggest thing Australians care about is if you live in Australia, you call yourself Australian. That's the only genuine thing they care about. But apart from that, like they don't care about your origins. They don't care about as long as you're not being a complete asshole, they don't care. So I feel it's a similar experience, but I'm not gonna claim to know everything about
Yeah,
the trans community in Australia. But I have known of quite a few awesome people who are in the trans community, and while they have their challenges with HRT and all that kind of stuff, they felt mostly safe with that transition.
good, as they should. I've also always said, like, if I couldn't live in Europe and
Mm.
I, couldn't live in Canada, I would always wanna live in Australia, and I don't know really why. Besides, I think people there just seem to always, like, be really cool and very, like, chill.
Depends which part of Australia you are, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like it's. I do love that it's very multicultural, and we're very mostly tolerant of all people from all walks of life.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so you found that B2B was your gateway drug into the transitioning, and you
yeah,
found your niche both in Norway and in streaming and B2Bing. So would the next
yeah.
step would have been where your transition into sex work?
So I started HRT about 7 months ago,
That
something like
wait,
that.
that early?
Yeah.
Oh
A lot of
wow.
people are like, "Yeah, what?"
No, like okay,
Um,
no, generally because I've known you from you don't stream at Australian times, but from a lot of videos and shorts and clips, and you've
yeah.
talked, and it feels like you've talked about it for a long time. I didn't realize the HRT journey was that recent.
So I finally got HRT after, like, 4 years.
Oh,
Um, just yeah, about a half a year ago, because the process here is so fucking long. It takes forever,
hmm.
and if you don't know enough about HRT here, you will just get denied. So I spent like a good year and a half, 2 years or so, just like researching HRT as much as I possibly could, reading everything. Um,
Oh, so you got your first
and a lot
taste of
of
the female experience, having to advocate yourself to a doctor.
exactly.
Oh
So
dear.
like I spent basically 4 years just like using makeup and workouts and diets basically to feminize myself as much as I possibly could.
Mm.
And like most people, when they see me, they're like, "Oh, you're just a woman," like before HRT.
Oh wow.
But there's still that
That,
feeling, and
mm.
also there is that like I don't know, like the roughness of testosterone and things like that that is just always going to be part of you a little bit,
Oh.
but it's over exaggerated obviously when you don't have HRT.
Oh, interesting.
Um, and so when I spent like 4 years getting HRT. I finally got it, and it was a whole process. It was annoying. Um, and when I've always had like a blue Twitch and those sites and whatever.
Mm.
And I wanted to do it a lot more. And then I just couldn't really commit to it because I didn't feel super comfortable with myself yet.
Okay.
Um, and I basically had it one because protect your name. Like
Mm.
if there's like a new website, you just make it so you keep your ad and whatever. Um, but at the same time, it was like I really wanted to do NSFW commissions and work, but I didn't feel good enough to like do it like internally. And then I started hardcore voice training, and I started HRT, and then I started feeling a lot more better with myself, a lot more myself, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And people kept approaching me about like NSFW voice commissions, and I couldn't like tell you exactly the dates or anything like that.
Mm.
But it was just like one day I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking commit to doing this. Like I keep fucking talking about it. Now I'm gonna fucking like fully like hardcore commit to it.
Okay, so you just
And
so that was your fuck it we bowl moment.
yeah, kind of. And if you don't know how estrogen works, you have something called being in heat, which is basically you're extremely horny for a very long time.
I believe you've made a short video about that, which
Yeah.
went into detail. And wow,
Um,
I find that interesting because
and basically, it is that your hormone cycle comes to a full circle. So it's basically starting back up. So no matter who you are, like whatever hormone is fueling your body, you have a hormone cycle. Uh, but your or testosterone cycle is a lot more muted and it's a lot less intense or can be a lot less intense. But you might feel yourself like being a little angrier or like a little bit more stubborn, or like maybe you're just extra horny, or like maybe you're just not horny at all. That is probably part of your hormone cycle.
huh.
Where in with estrogen, it's you kind of go into, or your body is like, we need to reproduce right this second. um,
I need to open a
and you
bakery
just become
right now.
extremely horny. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
jeez.
it can be exaggerated by like being surrounded by people with kids, as an example, or like seeing other people like with loved ones, or being even pregnant because your body is like, we should do that right now.
So, would you find that the baby smell is a lot more effective on you nowadays?
Yes. So like I have a huge extended family, and recently my cousin gave birth to her second child, and the entire time like we were at the hospital, I was just like, I don't need a kid. I don't want to be a parent. I don't need a kid.
Oh, and that would have been amplified than your usual experience? Because I
Yeah. So
find,
like
mm,
I've always been someone who is like fine with kids. It's never been like a, oh, I fucking hate them, but it's never been
mm,
something like, yes, I would love this screaming, shitting thing 24/7. That would be great.
I
Um,
suddenly feel the need to pop this pooping, screaming demon child out of my body.
yeah. where so that's never been like I've always looked at kids as like if you want kids and you've sat down and really thought about it and you made a decision, good for you.
Mm,
That's better than 90% of people. But I did that same thing. I sat down with myself and I'm like, do I want children? And like in a better circumstance, and if I didn't think the world was so fucked right now, I might have like wanted to have kids, but I'm also too selfish to have a kid. I care more about like my own well-being and my life than
mm.
to put it on pause for a whole other human being.
No, that.
And that is a
Mm,
decision I made years ago.
mm,
And I just kind of always stuck to it because it's just like, it's just not something in the cards for me,
mm,
at least not right now. Like maybe way later down the line or something like that. But
mm.
at least right now, I am very young. I care more about like how my TikTok performed, than like having lunch that day. And that's not like priorities you should like have a kid around.
Hasn't stopped some people, unfortunately.
Or
But
like, oh yeah, hold up, I need to do my commission on Schmansley later where I fucking jerk off for 4 hours. Like
uh,
again, not things you should be like doing if you want to be a parent.
yeah, no, that's fair. Like, there's a diff.
Or
So,
rather,
hmm,
if you don't have a partner to help you with it, I guess. Like there's amazing sex workers out there who are also amazing parents.
hmm.
Like and VTubers like Victoria the Sun Eater.
That was the first
She's
one
a
I'm gonna say.
mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
She's an
love her.
amazing mom. She's an amazing sex worker and an amazing VTuber. But at the same time, she like didn't do VTubing like for that long before the kids. She had the kids
Sh-
first. She was a
She's
human
she's
first.
she's a human and a mom first before being a VTuber.
Exactly.
Whereas you're a VTuber, then you'd be a
Yeah,
parent.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
not something I want to do right now.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
but now when I'm on estrogen, it's like every single time like I see somebody like with their baby or whatever, I'm like, well, maybe. And I have to like wrangle myself and be like, no, we don't want kids.
Uh,
Um,
Let me just
but yeah,
go.
the whole like baby fever thing, that is a
Hmm.
very real thing. That is
Uh,
100% super real.
okay, so that's definitely a good note to remind people on HRT. Okay,
Like
good to know.
if you're on estrogen, and you think like, "Oh, I don't want children," trust me, at some point you will be like, "Well, maybe I do."
Um, there's another thing on on estrogen that I've heard about. Um,
Yeah,
the loss of muscle mass.
that
Like,
is very true.
so
Yeah,
like you suddenly the bag of groceries you were able to do pick up with ease, now you're struggling
yeah,
with.
yeah. So, there is definitely loss of muscle mass, and it's literally just like, you can't build like I don't know exact science behind it, but it's basically like estrogen's job basically isn't necessarily to build a lot of muscle. That's not
Mm,
its main priority. So building muscle can be a little harder
mm.
and maintaining that muscle can be a little harder.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fair.
but
But
it isn't such a
mm,
huge loss of muscle mass where if you just like take care of yourself and like you work out and like, obviously just be careful with yourself, you can like it's not a like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so much weaker. It's like, yeah, like on a biological like number sense, technically
mm,
you're weaker, I guess. But it's not like something you would really notice in day-to-day life. Besides like, oh, this grocery bag is a little heavier than before, but it's not like you can't lift it, I
mm.
guess.
Okay, just it's just an annoyance stuff. You're not
Yeah,
the person you used to be.
yeah.
Okay.
And I haven't personally noticed that much muscle loss. Like I've noticed a little bit like in my arms, they're not as defined and not like as bulky as they used to be.
Hmm.
But it's not like I can't lift as much anymore. I can still lift the same. So
Okay. So you definitely so you found that with streaming and your other sites that Twitch doesn't like mentioning, um,
Yeah.
you found a platform to express yourself, teach, be be an educational platform by your personal experiences with transitioning and HRT. Um, was that was that planned for you, or was that something you just happened organically?
It was something that happened more organically. I didn't, like, go into it being like, "I wanna do NSFW work," or, "I wanna, educate more about HRT," or anything like that. I'm a very open person. I like talking about my experiences and how I'm
Hmm.
feeling just in the moment, and I knew that, like, this is stuff I wanna talk about. NSFW work, I've always been attracted to, like, way before streaming, not for any particular reason other than, like, I think how people view NSFW workers and sex work in general is disgusting. I think most
Hmm.
people are extremely, extremely shy about sex in general
Hmm.
and very much they don't view it as something other than you can only do this specific thing in very specific circumstances. Where here in Norway and a lot of other European countries, it's a lot more freeform. People don't view sex as that big of a deal, that big of a thing. And I want to say, like, personally, like, when I was younger, sure, sex seemed such a big, like, "Oh my god" thing. It's kinda like having alcohol for the first time. It's like, "Oh my god," like, "Holy shit."
Hmm.
But at the same time, it really shouldn't be. People get horny, people fuck. It's literally like eating. Like, you
Hmm.
have a need, you fill that need, that's it.
But just like everything in life, I'm okay with you doing it. Just
Exactly,
don't shove it in my face if I don't want it.
exactly. And so when, I started VTubing and I started being more confident in myself after doing a lot of waist training, I I got approached by people, like, asking for NSFW audio commissions and whatever, and I was like, "Maybe this is something I can do." And
Mm,
I tried it out, like, a couple of times, and I had a lot of fun doing it, like, it is
mm,
really, really fun. Um, and when I started HRT, it just exaggerated those feelings, and kinda here we are. Uh,
mm,
I'm not,
nice.
like, the most hardcore NSFW worker, like, there are some, other VTubers who are doing NSFW work who does it, like, that is, like, their main thing, where I definitely talk very openly about it, and it's definitely, like, a huge part of what I do, but it's not my main focus of what I do.
But it's
It's just, like, the second part of what I do.
but it's also but it's also an important part of you.
Exactly.
Hmm. No, that's definitely
And so,
now.
I like talking about it, I like doing it, but I think it's a very fine balancing act of, like, wanting to be known for both safe for work and not safe for work content, and
Hmm.
finding that balance can be extremely hard. Um,
Do you have to do like a lot of in-house moderations to keep the two worlds separate?
no, it's more of a you will like, if you grow on one platform, people just assume that's the only thing you do.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you're right. Yep. People only see the end result, not the
so
journey.
exactly. And so when, a lot of people suddenly, like, find my Discord or my stream or whatever, they kinda like, especially if they're from the NSFW part, that's the thing they assume is going to happen 24/7.
Mm,
And then you have the people who are from, like, YouTube and Instagram who just, like, saw me tell a story that they thought was cool, and they find the NSFW stuff, and it's just like this ever loving dance that you have to do. And I think that as long as you do a little bit of both and you
mm,
try to keep it as balanced as possible, then you'll be fine.
mm.
And you can really control, like, how and what people are watching and viewing and what kind of content they like from you. but you can definitely moderate it and be a bit more stern about it
Hmm.
and be like, "Hey, this isn't just for this," you know?
Like,
Um,
I find, yeah, because I find the common one with people similar to you who do have the streaming Twitch, the family friendly, sorry, air quotes family friendly Twitch, and then the not so safe for family blue Twitch or whatever. They often have
yeah.
to have the bad conversation of, okay, this conversation is for the other side. Can we keep it within terms of service for this side?
Yeah,
Because like
um,
you have like you have the regulars who don't understand boundaries, and they're the ones who are the loudest.
yeah. I I usually am fine, honestly, because I have the, like, sexual content tag, I think it's called,
Mm,
on my stream. So, like and it's obviously, like, 18 plus, and all that. So, like,
mm,
all of my streams, I kinda just have a open floor, and I do very openly talk about, like, certain sexual things,
mm.
but I don't, like, obviously go into, like, detail. It's more of like a kinda like a sex ed teacher would tell you,
Okay, yep.
because one, it's not what my streams necessarily are, and two, I'm a very, like, cut to the chase kind of person. I don't like beating around the bush that much.
Mm.
So, like, if somebody's like, "Oh, well, if you're on HRT, how does, like, your what happens to your, finger touchy?" I don't like doing that. I'm just like, spit it out, ask your question, I'll answer it if I can, you know?
Okay. Mm.
Um, so
So you find
100%, like, you have to balance that,
mm.
obviously, like, on your stream. Um, but at the same time, I'm very much like, if somebody asks me, like, "Where your tits at?" It's kind of just like, "Here?" Like
Look down. I'm pretty sure you already are. But
like,
like, would you say that it's
you
more
know?
important to be true to yourself rather than chasing the follows and the growth,
Yeah, 100%.
especially with
Like,
your kind of you with your brand and topics?
yes. So, like, something I have come to realize, like, over time is, like, you can be, in terms of Twitch, right? Like, be a successful streamer.
Hmm.
Like, you can have, a lot of viewers, a lot of subscribers, a lot of bits, whatever. But then, like, if you're not succeeding, to an equal degree everywhere else, what do you do if one day Twitch disappears or streaming just isn't fun anymore or, doesn't
Mm.
cut it? So I've always focused my time mainly on other platforms, because I love streaming. Streaming is my passion, but I also know that, like, in the future, or if I have to take an extended break or something like that, and you don't have other content out there, or you're not, like, known other places, you're fucked. Like, if
Mm.
you take 2 weeks off from streaming on Twitch, you might as well just be dead. Like,
Mm.
people forget who you are so quick.
Yeah, because there's
Um,
so many shiny dangly toys on there.
yeah, exactly. And so I always focus primarily on other content because if Twitch disappears, or if I don't want to stream anymore, or if I, have to take a break, or I'm moving or whatever, like, I want people to be able to still remember who I am and what I
Mm.
do and what I like to talk about and whatever. And if I come back, it's not going to be this devastating drop off. I've had to take extended breaks before, like month-long breaks and
Mm.
more. And I came back and it was like most of the audience is just like gone, which is completely understandable.
Hmm.
But if you are like a person, like it's such a cringe word, but you are a personality online, people know who you are. Like, people understand who you are. And even if you're
Mm.
not necessarily live or whatever, they find you. And
Mm.
it's more important to be a person people can relate to and somebody that people can, like, kind of like want to be around, I guess,
Hmm.
more than like try to get, the purple badge on Twitch or anything like that.
Oh, I've given up on giving the purple badge 10 years ago.
Um,
But no, but
so
it's definitely a good message that being being true to yourself and being true to your audience will be better for you long term than just the artificial number. Like, well,
yeah,
not artificial inflation, but the unsustainable growth.
exactly. And okay, if if I go live right now, I can sit with like 40, 50 people, 60 people, whatever, watching me.
Hmm.
And that's a good chunk of people, 100%. But I can post a YouTube video and like 2,000 people can see it.
Hmm.
That's a lot more.
Yep. But
And some of those people will,
mm,
resonate with what you're saying and who you are and whatever. And, when you go live again, oh, now you sit at like 45 people,
mm,
you gain more from doing that. And again, like with online stuff, like with content creation in general, it's a giant balancing act. It's very much like trying to do a little bit of everything
mhm.
all of the time.
Oh
I
yeah.
know, haha, lyrics. Um, but that's why I have my stream schedule being Monday, Tuesday, and then Friday, because every other day I'm working on offline stuff.
Yep.
Um,
90% of
so
my work
yeah,
is done offline, honestly.
yeah.
Um, okay, so
90% of YouTubers do all their work offline,
oh
like
yeah,
planning, scheduling, meeting new people, figuring
S-
out time zones,
swearing at the computer,
fucking OBS breaking, internet crashes, like all of these tiny things do add up over time.
forgetting to not update OBS before you go live, and all that good stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
true.
I
Plugins breaking.
like I could spend we could spend another hour talking about those things, but let's talk about something more relevant to you. So, the thing I wanted to ask you quickly before we wrap up this episode is because, as someone from the trans community, what are some things that streamers should be aware of to make their place a legitimate safe place for the LGBT plus community? Because there are people who want to do the right thing and want to be a safe, inclusive place, but they don't know what the correct actions are. So, is there any like advice you'd like to give?
If you're a streamer, the best way you can be a more safe place for trans people would be, well, one, saying it, obviously, like tweet about it or post it on Blue Sky or, make a clip just saying it.
Hmm.
That is honestly one of the biggest things you can do is audibly say this is a safe place for
Yeah.
LGBTQIA plus individuals.
I'm, I'm just gonna write that down on
Um,
my to-do list, honestly.
like being vocal of your support of LGBT individuals is so incredibly important because especially now with, everything happening in the US, a lot of people are afraid in being supportive of trans people because they don't want to be political, which is fine if you don't want to be political.
Oh,
But again, you supporting people
hmm,
shouldn't be political.
no.
It's you being like, okay, I don't care who you are. I want you to feel safe and welcome here.
I I joke about Steve from HR who will fire my ass the second I get political. But thankfully, in the state of Victoria where I live, LGBT is protected from hate speech by law.
Same here.
So
Um,
so thankfully, it's not a political issue for me to say uh, trans rights are human rights. Thank Christ, or
um,
Jesus, or whoever you believe in.
on Twitch, there is a tag you can add to your stream. I think it's literally called like LGBTQIA plus safe space.
Oh, I think I got a different
Um,
one.
but there's like a bunch of tags, but they're basically all the same.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, those two things are actually really major. If you stream on other platforms that don't have that tag or something like that, you can put in your title. You can just have like a rolling message in chat being like, this is a safe place for LGBTQIA plus individuals
Mhm.
or things like that. It obviously depends on like your comfortability level, your safety. Obviously, don't be a stupid idiot. Don't put
Mm.
yourself in danger of any kind. Like if you live in a country where you can fucking get in, thrown in jail or something. Sure, like speak the fuck up, but also at the same time protect yourself.
Yeah, like
Like there's no point of being, an ally if you at the same time have to risk your life.
we want we want alive heroes, not dead martyrs.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Um, and
live
so
live on to
things
live,
like
fight the
that.
good fight. Yeah.
And obviously, like you're doing right now, asking questions. Ask questions. Please, for the love of fuck, ask questions. Like 99% of trans people, if you approach them from a friendly, calm space and you have legitimate questions about sex, gender, HRT, voice training, gender perception, whatever, most people will be okay with,
Mm.
you know, calmly
Mm.
like educating you and try to help you out. Obviously, ask them if you can ask them questions
Mm.
first. Don't just be like, here's my 20 questions. Um,
So, what happens to the balls after bottom surgery, right? Don't do that.
they disappear.
Oh, you get a
They explode.
oh, you get a special jar.
Yeah, you can put them in the jar.
But no, but like obviously you have to be aware of personal boundaries.
Exactly. Don't be, just randomly stupid.
Hmm.
Um, and that's kind of all I can like really think of.
But like,
Um,
there are three big important things though. Like
like,
like be seen.
well, obviously, it's also like
Hmm.
it's being okay with being corrected. That's something you have to also be okay with. As I'm
Like
like talking about this, I'm like also remembering a bunch of other things.
hmm.
Like being okay with being corrected is very, very, very important because it will happen, and you can't just be like, oh, pfft." You have to be okay with calmly being like,
Yeah,
okay, and switch over your language, right?
yeah.
Or name or whatever.
That's the one I've been
Um,
consistent with my workplace say training. If they tell you
yeah,
you're wrong, apologize, change the language, and carry on.
yeah. You will meet people who have probably gone through a very major part of their life being misgendered or you know had or had a lot of transphobic people around them so they can have a very quick knee-jerk reaction that is really aggressive. And I'm not saying that's okay, but I am saying that if you want to try your best to like be as supportive as possible, if you meet those people, just try to stay calm
Mm,
and communicate through it. But at the same time, if you are one of those people, don't also just scream at people. Don't be aggressive.
mm. Yeah,
That's not a way to educate others.
mm, yeah. Um, but like
Um,
by baby steps, like so definitely be seen, being supportive, be heard, being supportive, and obviously walk the walk and talk the talk, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Don't be like online, be like, yeah, trans rights, and then offline you're like, I don't care.
yeah, no, like
um,
people will
and of
people
course, like
will
if you
pick
want
up
to
on
go that
it.
like super, if you want to go that a super like extra mile, I guess, like just you have Google, like literally just Google around. Like
Mm,
Google is your best friend. You don't have to ask another human being necessarily all of the questions because there are forums, videos,
mm,
shorts, TikToks, Reddit posts, like blog posts about any and everything you can possibly imagine
like
about gender, sex,
mm,
like everything. So it's sometimes baffles me that people are like, "Oh, what happens with when you take estrogen?" It's like you have Google. Just
mm.
like this is not a hard thing to figure out. Just you have Google at your fingertips, literally 24/7. If you
But
have a phone that is 5 years old, you can use Google.
but I'm lazy and I like making podcasts to ask those people those questions instead.
I
But I'm
feel like
different.
that's just more effort.
I never said I was a smart man. Okay.
I also this entire podcast reached out to people instead of Google.
Yeah, that's how old I am. I refuse
Trust
to.
me, this is less effort.
Well, so thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us. There's a few questions I'd like to ask all of our guests before we head off. Um,
Sure.
so first question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, sweet, easy. Um, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Uh, right now, it is. Let me pull up the name. Wait, so I don't pick the wrong one. Uh, it is "Do Me Good" by Orgasm, but it's spelled like ORGAVSM.
Oh, that's a new one. Um, let me just Google that real quick for later. Okay, there we go. Um, what's a movie you recommend I should watch before I die?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
Actually, Wolf of Wall Street and any of the Hellraiser movies.
okay. I'll watch Hellraiser first. It's that month. Okay. So,
Judgment is actually really good.
oh, nice. Um, do you have a favorite Pokemon and/or Uma Musume?
Pokemon. I haven't played the horse game yet though.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh, Pokemon would be Ghastly
Nice.
or either Ghastly or honestly any of the ghost Pokemons. Like just they're just so fucking sick. Like Gengar as well. Like oh my god,
Yeah, that's like that evolutionary line was pretty cool and it's very
so
iconic.
good. It is so good.
This
Ugh.
yeah, no, I get it.
I think out of the three, Hunter would probably be the coolest, but I just love that evolution line
Mhm.
all the way through. So like any of the ghost Pokemons are really like the original ghost Pokemons are really good.
Oh yeah, amazing. All right, well, thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences. So can I just get you to give us any place where people who may want to know more about you, where they can find you?
You can find me literally everywhere on any social media. Funny enough, except for OF, because
Oh,
I don't have anything there. But you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, like anywhere really. Uh, I am mostly active on like Blue Sky and Twitter, I guess, where I post like super regularly, and like Instagram is the third one.
hmm
But I try to post, every day, or at least, every other day. And I stream 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, at 8 p.m. GMT plus two, I think, our time zone is. Or if you're from the UK, it is at 7 p.m. for you.
um, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and join
Thank you for
us
having me.
in 2 weeks' time because next week is PAX Australia, and I'll be super busy for that week.